Occasionally when I do a video for either Strike Force or Ultimate Alliance 3, there's a huge fan of a particular character I'm covering in the video, and I feel I always have to give them a shout out at the start, so this video has to be dedicated to 6Gauge, biggest Ghost Rider fan I've known, and a player I've known since Marvel Heroes Omega, so I hope he does enjoy this video. Ghost Rider looks absolutely amazing. So this video anyway, it is an envoy video, so we've got some access to information that hasn't yet been fully released. So it's about the new Supernatural tag coming to the game. 2 brand new characters that will form part of the team. It's Ghost Rider, of course, and also Elsa Bloodstone, but we have some changes to Doctor Strange, Mordo and Scarlet Witch on the back of that, so the Supernatural team looks like they are going to be real powerful. Now, before we do jump in and we check out the new characters, as always, even though I've got early access to this content here and it is an envoy video, I don't in any way work for Marvel or Fox Next at all. So we're going to jump in and we're actually going to look at Elsa Bloodstone first, because the vast majority of Ghost Rider's kit has already been spoiled through various different mediums, so let's check her out. We'll follow that up with Ghost Rider and then we'll look at the changes to the 3 other characters. For anyone that's never actually really heard of Elsa before then, she is an English tea drinking demon hunter who has a ton of weapons, so definitely an interesting character. Now if we start off with the traits anyway, it's Hero, Global, Mystic, Blaster and Supernatural. The Supernatural is the new one that's going to be really important for this team. Her basic attack is bloody good guns. I can't do an English accent, but that's how she would say this. So it's attack primary target for 45% piercing plus bonus attack 5 times for an additional 45% piercing. The piercing, and the fact that it's full piercing there is really important, because when you're doing lots of attacks like this, if it didn't have the piercing, then armour would greatly reduce the damage. So this could actually do nice damage, and it'll be able to work its way through various different stacks of deflect as well. We then have the special, which is trick shot, so 5 turns to charge and comes with only 2 charges. So with Human Torch taken until turn number 3 to charge, I wonder if they're actually trying to slow characters down a little bit. Personally, I think that Genie's already out of the bottle. There's not really going back with how fast some characters are, but it's certainly going to take a little bit of time to get going with her. So with this, you attack primary target for 300% damage, and then you attack the most injured enemy for 350% damage, ignoring taunt and stealth. So very similar to Deadpool's move there. The ultimate is Scatter Guns, so 6 turns to charge, comes fully charged. With this you gain a fence up for 2 turns, you then attack primary target and adjacent targets for 250% damage plus 25% per supernatural ally there, so of course that will be up to an additional 100% with your 4 supernatural characters. The passive, I'm really not sure what this is in the text. I think it's supposed to be a swear word, because I think Elsa's a little bit like this, to be honest. She might throw out expletives when she's actually fighting enemies, but this one here, on miss, or an ally miss, if this character has 3 or more supernatural allies, attack that target for 270% damage. I assume that if she's blinded it will count as a miss. On enemy dodge, you attack that enemy for 270% damage, and also we've not seen this in a while in someone's kit, but gain 10% crit chance, and Mystic allies gain 10% crit chance as well, and then gain 20% accuracy per supernatural ally, so that'll get her close to 100% in there, and that will mean that the blind's not really going to be that effective on her. So characters that can maybe blind her, or characters that can dodge and so on, she's going to give them a real hard time there. So interesting kit, doesn't look like overly broken or anything like that, like some of the characters we looked at recently like Coulson, but that's not a bad thing. I like to see kits that are within the rough power levels of other characters. So that's Elsa Bloodstone. Let's now have a look at Ghost Rider. So Ghost Rider's kit looks really quite interesting, and his animations that you've already seen a few of already with the bikes and so on look incredible. His penance there where he comes towards the screen is absolutely amazing. I think it's probably my favourite animation in the game now. So if we check him out anyway, his traits are Hero, City, Mystic, Brawler and Supernatural. Here he goes for the penance there right now. Look at that. Absolutely incredible, love it. But the basic is Hellfire, so attack primary target for 250% damage and apply bleed for 2 turns. Of course, bleed is the equivalent of burn in this game. Special is Hell Cycle, 6 turns to charge, you can use it turn number 1. So you attack primary target for 290% damage plus apply 2 bleed for 2 turns, so that's going to do a lot of damage there. and then you attack all adjacent enemies for 270% damage and apply 2 bleed as well. Penance Stare, it's 4 turns to charge and comes with 2 charges. You attack primary target for a whopping 500% pierce, and I love the fact that it's a single target attack that will absolutely decimate enemies. That's what Penance Stare should be. But with this as well, it looks to be that after you do the damage, you then apply Offense Down and Defense Down, and if you're charged, which we'll see how he gains charges in a moment, then the attack gains 200% drain and you lose 1 charge. So with the amount of damage it's doing, you could be getting a huge amount of health return on this as well. But if we check out the passive just to finish up, so it's Spirit of Vengeance. With this, on death you grant 2 ability energy to all supernatural allies. On non-summoned ally death, so that will be the characters you can see on screen at the moment, then you attack the enemy that killed the target for 500% damage. You gain +1 charged up to a maximum of 5, so that ties in with Drain on Penance Stare. You generate free ability energy for self as well, so that'll be great for recharging your health cycle, or even recharging Penance Stare if you've just used it actually. And also, when a negative effect is applied to an enemy, you change speed bar of self and all supernatural allies by 3%. Doesn't seem a lot, but it will actually all add up there with all the negative effects. And you gain 40% max health. Supernatural allies gain 40% max health, which will be fantastic with Strange. Might make his heal actually a bit useful now. And you gain 30% focus, and supernatural allies gain 30% focus as well. That will be really nice on Mordo, because one of the things with Mordo is he throws out a ton of debuffs, but he's quite unreliable due to his focus, and this will bump it way up, so make it much easier to apply your blinds and your stuns and so on with him as well. So that's the 2 new characters, definitely interesting. Ghost Rider looks to be the most powerful one, and again his animations look incredible. Let's check out the remaining 3 supernatural characters and the changes that are coming to them. So we'll start off here with Doctor Strange. Now, the description of some of the tooltips we got looked to be a little bit incomplete, and there was some errors in the way it was worded, but I've kept it as is here. I don't want to go and just make assumptions and fill anything in here. So the 2 changes for Doctor Strange are his ultimate and his passive. So I've got the tooltips for the old version as well. So with the ultimate Book of Vishanti, the old version, you revived a dead ally, 50% max health, and you healed all allies for 8000 health and 10% of this character's max health. With the new setup, you revive a supernatural ally for 65% max health, and then it says revive a dead ally with health, so it's not clear if you actually revive 2, and it's something we've asked Cerebro to clarify. Also, it states that you heal all allies for 8000 health of this character's max health, so the wording's a bit strange there, as you can see. It doesn't mention the 10%, but I'm pretty sure that will still be there, and hopefully it's even a little bit higher as well. The passive looks really pretty awesome. So the passive, Master of the Arcane Arts. Old version, on turn you had a 30% chance to change the lowest ally's speed bar. The new one, on turn, we don't have a percent, but I presume it'll probably still be 30. So 30% chance to change the lowest ally's speed bar. But the difference here, and that skull on screen puts me off a little bit, but the difference here, if this character has 3 or more supernatural allies, when a positive effect is applied to an enemy, heal for 5% of this character's max health and gain +1 deflect up to a maximum of 5. So that's going to give Doctor Strange some much needed survivability there. I've actually got him at 5 red star, so it could be pretty nice, especially when you look at the additional health you can get via Ghost Rider for the supernatural characters as well. That's Doctor Strange anyway. Let's check out Baron Mordo next. With Baron Mordo then we have some more survivability, and that looks to be what this team's really set round. So it's the passive Too Many Sorcerers. The old setup, on death of any character you would heal self for 10% of this character's max health. On death of a Mystic you would heal self for 15% and you would gain 1 to 2 ability energy. The new one, on death of any character, you heal self and the most injured supernatural ally for 10% of this character's max health, and that's on death of any character, so that will be like summons and so on, so that'll be really powerful. But also with this, on death of a Mystic, you heal self and the most injured supernatural ally for 15% of this character's max health, and you grant 1 to 2 ability energy for self and that specific ally as well. So that looks to be a really powerful change there. Now let's check out the last character, and that will be Scarlet Witch. Just the one ability we have changed here then, it's the ultimate chaos wave. So with the old setup, you attack all enemies for 100% piercing and each target is all negative effects prolonged by a duration of 1, and the attack is unavoidable. The new one, just slight change here. You attack all enemies for 100% piercing, and each target is all negative effects prolonged by a duration of 1. If this character has 4 or more supernatural allies, then you apply defense down to all enemies as well. I'm not sure if the way this will work is if any of the supernatural allies are down, then they won't count as actually being there and it won't apply the defense down. It's something I'll need to actually test to figure it out, but that's the change for Scarlet Witch, and once again the attack is unavoidable. So that's all the kits we were given for this particular update. So the supernatural team looks interesting. I like the fact that we have a team that isn't built around brute force or anything like that. Survivability is going to be one of the ways they're really going to do well. So yeah, definitely interesting. And once again, there we go, that penance stain on Ghost Rider, it's incredible. It's a little bit off-putting me, I'm trying to record the video and you see it as well though. But that's the supernatural team. Let me know in the comments below what you think of them, and thanks for tuning in for this video, and I'll see you all again soon.